Hey everybody, today we are going to be talking about 6 of our favorite neighborhoods that are close to Duke University or Duke Hospital.
Yep.
Stick around.
Hey, what's up everybody? I'm Zach. This is my beautiful wife, Cindy. Today's video is, as Cindy said, on the top neighborhoods for those of you who are either going to be employed at Duke University or Duke Hospital and want a neighborhood close to them. So today's video, we're going to be covering the top 6 neighborhoods. So with that being said, let's dig right in.
So the first neighborhood on our list today is going to be the closest to Duke University, and it is called Duke Forest. Duke Forest is less than a 5-minute drive to Duke University, depending on where you live. It's a pretty expansive neighborhood, so if you're on the farther side, it might be a little bit more. If you're on the closer side, it could be less than 5 minutes and even walkable to places like the Albular Trail there on campus. But Duke Forest is really a unique neighborhood. It's stunning to drive through. It has a lot of character and a ton of trees.
Yeah, and a lot of like modern architecture style homes. It's really unique.
Yeah, it really is. So it's a really cool neighborhood. There's a lot of like kind of more like the mid-century style homes in there, and like Zach mentioned, some modern homes as well. There's some just basic ranches in there as well. There's definitely a lot of uniqueness to the neighborhood, and none of the houses are the same. So definitely worth checking out and driving through. Because of its proximity to Duke, though, it does have a higher price tag. The average home in Duke Forest in 2022 sold for about $775,000. So on our list, that's going to put it as the second most expensive today, but it is a really great option if you need to be as close to Duke as possible, especially more of like the campus side and not the hospital side, but close to both, because the hospital is located on campus. But it is a great option, and it's also very convenient to get to other parts of the triangle from Duke Forest and downtown. So definitely a nice option.
All right, next up on the list is Trinity Park. So Trinity Park is probably the only true downtown neighborhood we'll talk about today. There's another neighborhood that I consider like on the outskirts of downtown, but Trinity Park is right in the heart of downtown Durham. It's actually walkable to Duke's East Campus. There's a walking trail that goes around East Campus. Whole Foods is right there by East Campus, as well as 9th Street, if you've ever heard of 9th Street. So it's just a great option for those who want to be that close to Duke, as well as have kind of more of a downtown style life. Could be a great option for that. The average price point in Trinity Park is going to put you around $520.
Yeah, and that can really range, because the homes were built in the 1930s. So, you know, some have been, you know, maybe had fallen apart and been torn down at this point, or totally revamped and remodeled at this point. So, you know, some can be closer to that $1 million mark, and some are these cute little bungalows, but they might need a little love, and those are going to be on the cheaper side. So that price point's definitely an average. And like Zach mentioned, I think my favorite thing about Trinity Park is how close it is to 9th Street. 9th Street is kind of just like a classic street in Durham. I guess you could call it like a college-y street, but it, I mean, I didn't go to Duke, but I've lived here my whole life, and I've always felt like 9th Street's a fun place to be, no matter your age. Like if you're not a college student, it's still cool. Elmo's Diner is there, which is one of my favorite breakfast spots in Durham. So definitely a great option if you like that walkable lifestyle.
Absolutely.
So the next on our list is American Village. American Village is going to be a more traditional feeling neighborhood than the first 2 we mentioned, and it's also one of the more affordable. It's only a 6-minute drive to Duke, which is awesome, and it's a very basic drive, kind of down like just one road. You don't have to get on the highway or anything, which is nice. But it does feel more suburby than the other 2 neighborhoods do, and just has a more traditional like 80s and 90s feel to it. So the lot sizes are like half an acre or so, and the homes have that typical kind of 80s and 90s feel to them, but it's really nice and has a good family feel to the neighborhood, and has a lot of nice sidewalks and places to like enjoy going on a walk. And it's got great proximity to Highway 85, and you can verge right onto 15501 to get to the south side of Durham. So a really nice kind of central location in Durham. Yeah,
and the price points put it as one of the cheaper options we'll talk about today. Not the cheapest, but very close. So the average is $480 in American Village. And if you like donuts, it puts you right by Krispy Kreme. So
Perfect.
yeah,
And Dunkin' Donuts.
there's not
They're
many.
across the street
I
from
think
each
there's
other.
only one Krispy Kreme in Durham.
Yeah.
And American Village is very close to that Krispy Kreme.
Yeah. If you are a fast foodie, then it's a great place because
It is. There's a
the
ton
Krispy Kreme is on Hillsborough Road.
fast food
That's
by
like fast food
American
central in
Village. It
Durham. It's like you got everything right there. So, and a Cracker Barrel. I'm not gonna lie, I just absolutely love Cracker Barrel. It's
such an old soul.
Yeah, I'm an old soul. I love it. I've seen this challenge where you take an old-timey picture of yourself and you hang it up at Cracker Barrel, and that's on my bucket list. Zach hasn't let me do it yet, so I want to see how long it stays in there before someone notices that it wasn't part of the original decor. But anyway, it's a great, convenient spot to be for sure.
All right, next up on the list is a neighborhood called Duke Park. This is that other neighborhood I was talking about where you could kind of consider it downtown, but it's like on the verge where it's kind of iffy because it's just not a very walkable area. But Duke Park is a great option. The homes there have a lot of charm and a lot of character for the most part, and the average price point in 2022 was right around $600,000 in Duke Park.
Yeah, and like Zach mentioned, it's got a lot of nice sidewalks, so it's nice. It's walkable as far as like going on a walk in the neighborhood, but it's not walkable to like restaurants downtown and stuff. You could walk, but it would be pretty long. And one of the better parts about Duke Park is Duke Park, which is a park that's just located right inside of the neighborhood. It's one of our favorites in Durham to take our kiddos to because it's got a pretty big play structure and then a smaller like toddler one as well. So it's just really nice, a nice place to be. And like Zach said, you really can't beat the charm of Duke Park, and its proximity to Highway 85 makes it really convenient as well.
And as far as the proximity of Duke Park to Duke, it's about a 10-minute drive, so it still keeps you relatively close. Really, all of these neighborhoods are going to keep you within roughly a 10-minute drive of Duke, which is nice.
All right, the next on our list is going to be our most affordable neighborhood with close proximity to Duke, and that is Hope Valley Farms. Hope Valley Farms is probably like the most quintessential Durham neighborhood. Like everybody's heard of it. It's giant. It's just kind of like a giant, kind of feels like a tract home development, but has a little bit more character than your today's tract home developments, but not going to have the character that somewhere like Trinity Park or Duke Park has to offer, just because the homes were built more recently. Definitely more of like a 90s, 2000s feel to them. But that can have a lot of benefits as well because you have smaller lot sizes. The homes are a little closer together, but a lot of families live in those neighborhoods. So if you have young kids and you want that kind of like community feel, you want to see a lot of kids running around and playing in the streets, like that could be a really good fit neighborhood for you. Additionally, if maybe you're married and one of you needs to be at Duke, but one maybe has a job where they're needing to get to Research Triangle Park or Raleigh, Hope Valley could be a really great option because it's located on the southern side of Durham, and that puts you a lot closer to Highway 40 than some of these other neighborhoods we've been talking about. And a lot of amenities in Durham do tend to be on the south side of town, like the Target, South Point Shopping Mall, and things like that, and also closer to Chapel Hill. So has its pros and cons for sure, but I think the biggest pro to it is going to be that your average price point in Hope Valley is going to be our cheapest today at $455,000.
Exactly. All right, the last one on the list is my favorite. It also happens to be the most expensive.
Those things typically go hand in hand, right?
It's Croasdaile. You're looking at an average price point of about $815. That's what it was in 2022. We're actually filming here at Croasdaile. You might be able to see there's walking trails behind us. There's a farm behind us as well with cows, which I just think is just such a cool touch. This neighborhood, it's a very custom feeling neighborhood. So there's different sections. There's sections that have a more 90s vibe to it. There's sections where a lot of the homes, like each home is different looking. There's a newer section that was built in
started like in 2020.
There was one that's still being built, but there was another section that was built in like 2014, 2015, in that time. There's just a lot of diversity in the neighborhood as far as like home styles go. But it's a beautiful neighborhood. It is very, very, very close to Duke University Hospital. Literally, when you pull out of the neighborhood, you take a right, and it's you take literally the same road down, and it dead ends at the hospital. So if you're working at the hospital, Croasdaile could be a great option for that.
Definitely. And like Zach mentioned, there's a lot of custom homes in the neighborhood. It's probably the most custom feeling neighborhood here because you can tell like each home is so different. You can tell someone sat down, made their own home plans, and had them custom built throughout like really the last 20 years of the neighborhood through these different phases. So it's just a beautiful neighborhood. I think the best feature is the trails that are through here. There's a lot of paved trails that go through some wooded sections. They come up and meet the sidewalks in the neighborhood. So if you're like a runner, this is a great neighborhood for that. Or if you are a really avid walker, enjoy walking, dog walking, and you want a quiet place to walk, that's, you're not going to walk to a grocery store or anything, but walking through the neighborhood, it's so peaceful and tranquil. We used to do it a lot before we had kids. We had some friends that lived here and we would meet up and go on runs. If you are a runner and you have children, let us know how you manage to do that, because since we had kids, we just don't have time to do anything, I don't think.
No.
Yeah, especially running. That just is like on the back burner, right? But it's a great place to do it because it's just paved, so you don't feel like you're tripping on things, and the trails, they're not on the road, so you don't feel like you're going to get hit by a car. So it's just a great spot for that.
Yeah. So anyway, that wraps up the video on the top neighborhoods close to Duke. If you like today's video, feel free to check out our others. We have a ton of videos on the different parts of the triangle, different neighborhoods in the triangle, different cities and towns, so feel free to check those out. If you have not subscribed, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We'd love for you to be a part of the channel. We try to produce these videos at least once a week. If you saw that number on the screen earlier in the video, you're probably seeing it now. That is our number. If you call that number, text that number, it comes to us. So if you got questions about real estate in the area, questions about the area in general, we'd love to answer those questions for you. My email is there as well. You can also find us on social media.
Yeah, feel free to find us on social media at The Honeycut Realtors on Instagram and Facebook. And you can also check out our website, honeycutrealtors.com. We would love to have you follow along with us there.
Yeah, but anyway, thanks so much for tuning in, and we will see y'all next time.
So we accidentally filmed this whole thing without filming it, and I slapped Zach in the face by accident.
Gosh, you slapping me in the face was
I'll do it again.
Gold.
I'll do it again.
No. Don't do it again. But it was gold. It was going to be perfect.
I know.